Good afternoon, everyone. As promised, my clock says 12 p.m. So we are going to get started just to be respectful of your time. This is our fifth and final installment of the 2023 I'm State Certified Now What series, also known as the Empowerment Series. We've already hosted Empowering Communities to Succeed through Collaboration, Access to Capital, Contracts, and today we're going to focus on empowering communities to succeed through our centers, also known as our Minority Business Assistance Centers, or MBACs for short. My name is Chandrita Boykins. I'm the Manager of Business Development and Entrepreneurship. I'll be your moderator for today. And as your moderator, I just have a couple rules. Please keep your microphones muted at all times. Please keep your cameras turned off and leave them off for the duration of the call. And please take notes. I always say that note takers are action takers and action takers are money makers. There will be a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. And so you want to save your questions for then. If you go to the reactions tab or the raise your hand icon on your laptops or on your phones, raise your hand to be recognized. You'll come right off the mic and ask your question. And whichever speaker it is applicable to will provide the answer for your question. So I want to take the time. I have the honor and privilege of introducing Mr. Quincy Howard. I call him Boss Man. Others call him AC, which is short for Assistant Chief. He's also a proud member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. He has the pleasure of being the co-captain of the Minority Business Development Division. Excuse me. Where he ensures that we provide quality service in creating and expanding opportunities for minorities, women, and underserved business owners. Chief, I turn the virtual mic over to you. Assistant Chief, I'm sorry. I turn the virtual mic over to you.
Thank you, Chandrita. I appreciate that. Thank you for your kind words. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Quincy Howard. I'm the Assistant Chief of the Minority Business Development Division. As you can see on your screen, hopefully everyone can see it today, we have honorary the Ohio Department of Development Day. Next screen, please. So the Ohio Department of Development is actually comprised of 3 divisions. As we have shared over the last 5 weeks, the mission statement of the Ohio Department of Development, of course, is empowering communities to succeed. And we do that through these 3 divisions. One, the Community Service Division, which works to support Ohio communities in improving and maintaining their downtowns, infrastructure, and community-focused resources. The Minority Business Development Division, which of course supports the growth and sustainability of small, minority, and disadvantaged businesses in Ohio. And our Strategic Investment Division, which works to support Ohio's businesses, large and small, as they maneuver in the global economy. And you've heard about some of the departments within the Strategic Investment Division, our SBDC and our PTAC, which we talked about the previous weeks. Next slide. So today I'm going to focus on the Community Service Division and the Minority Business Development Division. The Community Service Division is comprised of several programs, again, to help the community improving their infrastructures and whatnot. And they do that through various programs, as you can see here. The micro enterprise business development program, your energy efficiency program, your energy loan fund, your loan loss reserve program, and the alternative stormwater infrastructure loan program. It's a mouthful. Next slide. The micro enterprise business development program is through the Ohio Housing Trust Fund. And dollars are awarded to the Ohio CDC Association, which stands for the Community Development Corporations, to provide training and technical assistance and business loans to low and moderate income Ohioans interested in expanding their micro enterprise business. And so we won't go all into all of what they do, but you can actually, once you get your presentation, you can click on this link here. It will give you all of the information on how to take advantage of that program. Next slide. The Energy Efficiency Program helps businesses, manufacturers, nonprofits, schools, and local governments reduce energy use and improve energy efficiency, resulting in lower energy costs. And you can find out about that program here again by clicking on this website, this email where you can send the information to, or Miss Manny Anuki. I messed her name up, but she'll pronounce it correctly when you contact her, who is the energy specialist in the department, or his name. Next slide. The Energy Loan Fund. Through the loan fund, eligible applicants receive low interest financing to install efficiency measures that reduce energy by at least 15%. And so technical assistance is always available to learn how to take advantage of that. And you can learn more about that at the this link, the Energy Loan Fund. Next slide. Our Loan Loss Reserve Program. Now, the Loan Loss Reserve Program is a credit enhancement of up to 50% of a qualified energy efficiency project on existing structure. So these programs are administered by the Ohio Port Authorities, and you can learn more about that program at the following link. Next slide, please. And lastly, our Alternative Stormwater Infrastructure Loan Program. And this program offers below market rate loans for the design and construction of green infrastructure as part of economic development projects. Up to $5 million in loan funds per project are available. And you can learn more about that program at the following link. Next slide. Now we'll talk about the Minority Business Development Division, which is near and dear to my heart. And those consist of the minority business centers, the access to capital, our procurement services, and of course, our resource network. Next slide. Now, our minority business assistance centers, we have 7 minority business assistance centers across the country, across the state. And I'm not going to go all into the particulars of it because our next speaker, Ms. Amanita, she will go more into it. But you can learn more about each of the centers by clicking on the following link, and Aminata will share more about them on the next when she speaks. Next slide. But we will talk about the Access to Capital, which is our Collateral Enhancement Program, our Ohio Capital Access Program, and our Ohio Microloan Program. And I'll just talk real quickly about each of these programs. So the Collateral Enhancement Program, we call 2.0, is created to facilitate increased lending by financial institutions to small businesses, minority-owned businesses, and women-owned businesses that need access to capital for growth or expansion. The CEP supports lender loans that might otherwise be unavailable because of collateral shortfall. The Ohio Capital Access Program, excuse me, most commonly known as OCAP, is a loan portfolio insurance program, similar to a loan guarantee that enables small businesses to obtain credit to help grow and expand their businesses. And then lastly, the Ohio Microloan Program. So this loan program is designed to stimulate the growth of new and existing businesses by providing microloans at 0% interest. The minimum loan amount is $10,000 and the maximum is $45,000. So loans will be repaid within 5 years for permanent working capital and 7 years for equipment. The business must have a principal place of business in the state of Ohio. And to learn more about those programs, you can actually click on the link here. Next slide. Some more loan programs that we have within the Minority Business Development Center is the Minority Direct Loan Program. Now, this program provides fixed low interest rate loans to certified minority-owned businesses that are purchasing or improving fixed assets, resulting in the creation of new jobs for Ohioans. The Women's Business Enterprise Loan Program is designed to stimulate the growth of existing women-owned businesses by providing loans at market rate or below market rate interest, currently up to 3%, The minimum loan amount is $45,000 up to a maximum of $500,000. Loans are paid within 10 years for equipment and machinery and 15 years for owner-occupied real estate. And that business also must be have a principal place of business on operations in Ohio. And lastly, the Minority Bonding Line Program. The Minority Bonding Program provides bid, performance, and payment surety bonds to state-certified minority-owned businesses that are unable to obtain bonding through standard surety companies. And so all of these programs that I mentioned to you right here, you must be certified either through for the minority direct loan and minority bonding as a certified minority business, or with the Women's Business Enterprise Program as a women's owned business. And to learn more about those programs, you can contact the minority, you can click on the site here, or as you will learn here from our next speaker, Aminata, you can contact the Minority Business Assistance Centers. Next slide. Now, as I said, that you had to be state certified for some of these loans, and we offer 4 state certifications: the Minority Business Enterprise certification, the Encouraging Diversity, Growth, and Equity, which is the EDGE certification, the Women-Owned Business Enterprise certification, which of course is WBE, and our Veteran-Friendly Business Enterprise, which is VBE. And you can learn more about all of those certifications through this link here, the Minority Small Business Certifications, or again, contacting your local Minority Business Assistance Center. Next slide. Our next area, of course, is our procurement services. And we're excited because we just hired our minority procurement manager, Ms. Valerie Williams, and she and her staff are responsible for making sure that we assist not only internally our agencies, but our external partners in achieving the goals that they set for their minority women EDGE programs, so that we can have increase our productivity and our participation of these businesses. And we also host trainings and workshops, much like the one you're at today, our state certified Now What? We have a training coming soon called Ohio Buys. As you all understand, the way to do business with the state of Ohio, you have to go through Ohio Buys. And so we'll be having a training on how to maneuver and navigate Ohio Buys, and that's coming here in the next couple of months. We also, you can reach out to Ms. Valerie, Ms. Williams, if you have any questions about procurement or how to, or what agencies are looking for what, and they will be able to assist you. And then, of course, again, the Minority Business Assistance Centers also offer activities and networking opportunities so that you can learn more about what's going on in the state of Ohio, so that we can help you get business with the state. Next slide, please. And if you have any questions, or you'd like to get some additional questions, or you'd like to just get in contact with me, here is my information. And it has been a pleasure speaking with you all today. And I'll give it back to you, Chandrita. Thank you.
Thank you, Assistant Chief Howard. I guess I should be professional on this call and not call you boss man. So thank you. That was a wealth of knowledge and information. I'm glad that you shared that, because some people, when they work with one division, they think that it's all encompassing or that's the end all be all. But when I imagine us, I look at us as a spider. We're the body, and then we have several legs that come off of us, because we need to be able to touch marginalized business owners where they are. Next, we have coming to the virtual stage, Ms. Aminata Soko. She had the honor of serving as the statewide MBAC manager. MBAC again stands for Minority Business Assistance Centers, which are the technical assistance arms of the Minority Business Development Division. She leads 7 centers in 7 regions across the state, as was shown on the map during Assistant Chief Howard's presentation. And she has her MBA in Sustainable Business Practices, and is a wealth of information. She has great ideas, and she serves in the community very heavily. So I want to welcome to the virtual stage, Miss Aminata Soko.
Thank you so much, Chandrita. Thank you, everyone, for attending our final session of I'm Certified Now What. For those who have been with us since the beginning, thank you. And I'm sure the information that has been provided in the past was very beneficial. So I hope you'll be able to take that back to your businesses and be able to utilize that to grow your businesses. So for the few minutes here that I have, I'll share with you what our minority business assistance centers do around the state of Ohio. Next slide, please. So the purpose of our MBAC Center, so first of all, it is important to understand that our MBAC network is the technical assistance program of the Ohio Department of Development, and it is one of the many programs that is led by our Minority Business Development Division. As you have seen from our Assistant Chief's presentation, we have a lot of programs that we lead, but the MBAC network is one of the many programs that we lead here in the state of Ohio. And truly, the goal of the MBAC program is to increase the competitiveness of minority, socially and economically disadvantaged businesses. That's really why the MBAC program has been created and has been running for so many years. And our directors and MBAC staff do such an amazing job on a daily basis to make sure that they're serving the populations that I just mentioned. And we know that our populations have faced barriers for a long time. So that's why we believe that the MBAC program is so critical to make sure that we're delivering technical assistance that makes sense for the communities that we're serving. Next slide, please. And these are just a few of the services that we offer through our MBAC centers. And this list might look long, but it's actually quite short, looking at what our MBAC directors and staff are able to provide. So just to name a few, business management being one of the technical assistance opportunities, human resources. So as you're looking to hire your first employee or trying to expand your workforce, definitely sit down with one of our MBAC advisors. They'll walk you through some of the compliance things that you might have not thought about. So definitely spend some time with our MBAC advisors. The other really good technical assistance opportunity through our centers is assistance with certification application. So some of you might be already certified, but those who are not certified, definitely spend time with our MBACs. And even if you have your certification, if it's coming soon to being expired, you might want to go back to the MBAC to be able to, so they can assist you to have your certification application become renewed. And then the other opportunity as well is with financial package preparation. So as you're looking for funding for your business, whether it's loans, whether it's grants, which those are quite few now, or bonding opportunities, definitely sit down with an MBAC advisor. They will walk you through some of the financial products that are out there. We have our loans here at the state of Ohio. So our MBACs are very, very familiar with what we offer, but also our MBAC directors are community leaders. They're networking in the community all day long. So they know what the banks are offering. They know what the CDFIs are offering. So when you come to them with a financial need, they probably know the organization that can best suit your needs. So definitely spend time with them. But the other thing that I think is critical is the fact that they can prepare you to be loan ready, right? So not only do you need a loan, but are you ready for that loan? So if you're not, they can sit down with you and offer the coaching necessary to make sure that you're ready for that as well. And then access to procurement opportunities. So we have procurement opportunities here at the state of Ohio, but that being said, there's also opportunities in the private sector. So as I mentioned earlier, because our directors are really active in the community, they know what the procurement opportunities are out there, whether again, it's in the private sector or here at the state. I send them any opportunity that come my way, I send it to the directors. They are first to know about it. So if you're connected with MBAC, you will know what opportunities are out there and you'll be connected with them. So definitely reach out to your local MBAC. And in a minute here, I'll show you where all of our MBAC centers are. Other technical assistance opportunities include joint ventures, setting up your joint venture if you need to, marketing and sales. It's such a critical piece of your business. So if you're looking to revisit your marketing strategy, your sales strategy, spend time with one of our advisors. Business structure, this is probably more for our startup businesses. So as you're looking to structure your business, sit down with an MBAC advisor. They can probably teach you the best structure that is the structure that will best suit your business, so you can file your business with the state of Ohio. Finance and accounting, such a critical piece for your business. You know, that's truly the foundation, which a lot of our business owners might have some struggles or some areas of opportunities. So the MBACs can definitely sit down with you and walk you through maybe some of the financial statements that are needed if you're looking to go get a loan, right? The projections that are needed if you're trying to get a loan. So and even not just getting a loan, that is just such a cornerstone of your business. So definitely spend time with our advisors at the MBACs and our directors. mergers and acquisitions, strategic planning and operations, and so on, right? So as I mentioned, this is just a very, it's a short list and a general list in terms of what our MBACs are able to provide. As I keep mentioning throughout the presentation, our directors are leaders, and they truly know what is happening, what the business trends are. They know what the business issues are. So they are putting on programming, workshops, conferences, you name it. They're putting on programming to be able to assist small businesses in their region. So that's why I think it's so critical that you're able to connect with your local MBAC so that they can help you be successful. Next slide, please. So our MBAC network, our MBAC service any business, are able to service anyone in the state of Ohio. So currently we have 7 regions spanning 13 centers. So I'm just going to go over here our regions. So if you look at the map, the green colored counties are our Akron region. So if you live in the green region, you'll be serviced by our Akron MBAC. And then the Cincinnati region is our burgundy. So at the bottom of the map, the burgundy color is our Cincinnati region. And then Cleveland on top, the red colored counties is our Cleveland region. Columbus is a yellow. The yellow region, the Columbus region is in yellow. Dayton is a gray color. Northwest Ohio, Toledo is a blue. And then finally, the last but not least is our Youngstown region, which is the darker gray. So as you can see on the map, we have main locations and satellite locations. So again, anywhere that you live in Ohio, we're able to service you. And I'll put my contact information later on. So if you want me to put you in touch with our MBAC centers, I'll be glad to do so. Next slide, please. And I do want to spend some few minutes here just sharing with you the accomplishments of our MBACs throughout. So this is just last fiscal year. So for the last year, fiscal year 2022, our MBACs were able to service over 11,000 new clients. They helped offer 56,000 counseling hours. They helped clients access over $13 billion in contracts. So I mentioned earlier that you definitely want to be in touch with your MBAC center because they know what the opportunities are out there and are able to share that with all their clients. They helped clients create over 7,000 jobs, helped retain over 9,000 jobs, and capital infusion, they had over $103 million of capital infusion. So again, going back to the loans and access to capital, that is such a critical piece of what they're able to assist you with. So I am happy to, and the next slide, I think that will be my contact information. Next slide, please. So this is my email address. You can reach me here. Again, I'm glad to put you in touch with one of our centers. Please email me and let me know what county you live in, and I'll make sure to put you in touch with your local MBAC center so they can assist you. Thank you so much. And I'll pass it over to you, Chandra.
Thank you, Aminata. I absolutely love our centers, you know that, and our directors and all of their employees. They do such a phenomenal job. Those numbers are outstanding. That was over $1 billion with a B dollars in contracts and over $1 million with the M dollars in capital infusion. Those numbers are huge. And so again, being our arms, legs, feet, and mouthpieces out in the community for our Minority Business Development Division is just a great help, and they do a phenomenal job. Next, coming to the virtual mic is a really great partner I consider him to be. There's not a time I think I've asked Aaron to present for me, and he has not been able to take advantage of that opportunity. So Aaron, thank you so very much. He is currently serving as the state director of the Ohio Manufacturing Extension Program, also known as MEP. He's been with the Department of Development for over 7 years. So since 2017, he's been with the department, and he's been with MEP for the better part of that. He also holds a Bachelor of Arts in Business Communications from Wright State University. Go Flyers. Aaron, take it away, dear.
Well, I'm first going to have to correct you there, Chandretta. The Wright State, they are the Raiders, not the Flyers.
Raiders. I'm
you're
so
thinking
sorry.
of UD
Forgive
there.
me. Forgive me. I'm sorry.
Totally fine. Just don't let anyone else from Wright State hear that. They might
I
get a
owe you
little upset.
lunch.
No, you don't. No problem. Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be with you today. As Chandretta mentioned, my name is Aaron Patrick. I'm the state director for the MEP program. So at the Department of Development, we are considered manufacturing assistants. MEP is actually a nationwide program that I'll talk about in more detail here. But the first thing I'd like to say is that I spent 18 years in the automotive industry, so I come from a manufacturing background. Manufacturing is important to me, and it's important that my program delivers high-level services to the manufacturers in the state of Ohio. So we are here to be a valued resource for the small, medium-sized manufacturers of the state of Ohio. So I'll get into my program from a federal perspective. So if we go to the next slide. Again, I have this as onboarding. This is really just an overview of our program. We are administered federally through the Department of Commerce, specifically the National Institute of Standards and Technologies. And really, the purpose of this program at a national level, and specifically for today's discussion in the state of Ohio, is we're here to increase sales, create jobs, and generate cost savings for manufacturers in Ohio. So we'll talk about how we do that, how we're organized. And I've mentioned the federal level, so let's get into some discussions related to how we're set up from a federal perspective. So next slide. Number one, why is manufacturing important? If we go to the next slide, you'll see some pretty big numbers. 11% of the GDP in the U.S. Comes from manufacturing. It's $2.6 trillion to the economy. R&D is ever evolving in all different facets of manufacturing across the country. And right now, manufacturing is viewed as the sixth largest employer in the U.S. I can say in the state of Ohio, we employ over 650,000 individuals in the manufacturing sector. So we view this as a very large sector, and that's why our program exists as of today. So the next slide will show just a little bit more about when we started, 1988. This was started at a federal level. And again, it's equipped when we say small and medium-sized manufacturers, we're typically talking about under 500 employees. The large folks, they have resources at their disposal. It's the smaller folks that we're really focused on and who we're here to help. So we hire industry experts to work directly with manufacturers to help them with whatever it is they need. We truly are an organization designed to listen to the pain points of Ohio's manufacturers, and then help them navigate through those pains and make them, allow them to create jobs, allow them to become more profitable, and just be a better, stronger manufacturer for the country. So that's why we're here. So next slide. Again, as I mentioned, we are associated with the Department of Commerce at the federal level. The interesting thing about this slide is we have the ability to tap into many different resources at the federal level. So we are at the federal level, we are the Manufacturing Extension Partnership, MEP for short, program. But we are a part of this larger Department of Commerce, which actually allows us the ability to work with other departments across the federal scope. And we specifically work with the National Institute of Standards and Technologies. And one of the benefits of that is there are a number of laboratories that we have access to based on this partnership that we have with NIST. So we can trickle that down to the manufacturers of Ohio and really allow them opportunities that they otherwise would not have had unless we had this partnership with the Department of Commerce. So next slide. What are our core values? I am very meticulous about making sure that my partners follow our core values. And I know we're talking at a national level, so just quickly speaking, every state plus Puerto Rico has this program. So these values are across the national network, but I also make sure my partners in the state of Ohio have these same core values. So we're learning and always looking to innovate. We're very personal in how we approach small and medium-sized manufacturers. We're a partner. We are fee-based, but we are a partner to them. We are here to help. We are a valued resource. Collaboration, we have various organizations across the state outside of the Department of Development that we work with. Jobs Ohio, the Ohio Manufacturers Association, the Ohio Manufacturing Institute at Ohio State. So my role at the state level is to continue to cultivate those collaborations and strategic partnerships. So it's very important that we align ourselves with other similar programs so that we're working together and not against one another. I'm going to talk about some of the impact results that we get from the services that we deliver. So I'll hold off on that for a little bit. We're always looking for continuous improvement. We never want to stand still. We always want to bring options to the small, medium-sized manufacturers of Ohio to keep them relevant and make them competitive in the national manufacturing space. And then we're always looking to upskill our people within this program. So we're only as good as our people. We understand that, and we're constantly looking to keep up with the trends of manufacturing so that we can deliver high-level services to our clients. Next slide, please. Again, as I mentioned, this is truly a national network, and I know this this map looks a little much. We are operated in Ohio through the Department of Development, so we are a state-run program. Other states have university-based, or they may have 501(c)(3) based. But I wanted to represent here that we are truly a national network. So if a manufacturer would come to the Ohio MEP and say, I need this, and if we say, we don't exactly have that solution for you, but we've got all these vast other options across the nation that we can tap into, we'll absolutely do that. We have tie-ins to all of these states, and we operate truly as a national network. So we're a large network that has a lot of different types of solutions for manufacturers. Next slide, please. So the partners, the folks that we deal with, I've already mentioned a few at the state level, like Jobs Ohio or the Ohio Manufacturers Association. We're looking at economic development organizations across the state. At the county level, we're dealing with economic development folks. We're dealing with schools, and we're not just dealing with universities. We're dealing with career techs. At the high school level, we want to introduce manufacturing careers to the younger generation, and the younger the better, and also underserved regions. We want to make sure that we're giving everyone opportunities to have great careers within the manufacturing sector. State and local government. I mentioned briefly the USA Institutes at a federal level, so we have tie-ins to them, and then various trade associations and other part. We're always looking to partner to make sure that we can deliver high-level services to our clients across the state. Next slide, please. Again, I can't stress this enough, and I'm always talking to my partners about the value of partnerships. We do a lot of good things within the MEP network, within the state of Ohio, but there's all kinds of other great things going on that we always need to be aware of and we need to be aligned with. So we're constantly looking for partnerships that will only bolster the level of services that we can provide out to our clients. So it's something that we continually are doing, and that's really what I'm tasked with at the state level within my role. Next slide. This gives you an idea of so I keep saying services, I keep saying we deliver high-level services. This gives you an idea of what those services are. So ISO and quality, we want to help folks get certified. We want to help with growth opportunities. So commercialization of new products, getting into new markets. Also exporting and reshoring. Reshoring is a huge buzz term right now. Supply chain reshoring, trying to bring things back to the U.S. And I want to bring things back to the state of Ohio. It just strengthens us. So we continue to look in those areas. Workforce development. I won't go through all of these, but Lean and Toyota Kata, those are process improvement opportunities. I mentioned supply chain. Cybersecurity, people don't think about that as a manufacturing type of issue, but everything is connected now. Everything is very high tech, moving in that direction of technology. So we have to make sure that people aren't trying to steal our IP across the state. And then the last area I'll touch on is the food industry. So when I came from automotive to this role, I didn't necessarily look at food as a manufacturing commodity. It is. And not only is it, it's huge in the state of Ohio. So as I talk more about our partners, we have a partner dedicated to the food industry and in bringing high level solutions to food manufacturers. So we truly are looking to run the gamut in terms of what services a manufacturer could need. We're trying to bring all of those to the forefront for them. So next slide, please. This, Aminata mentioned some of the impacts that her program is delivering. This is coming from the national perspective. So when you look at all states plus Puerto Rico having this presence, these are some of our impacts that we've generated. So FY22, we had 33,500 clients. We either created or retained over 116,000 jobs, 18.8 billion in new and retained sales, 6.4 billion in investment that we help companies make, and then 2.5 billion in cost savings. These are truly staggering numbers, and these numbers don't come from us. These numbers actually come from the clients that we touch. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how these are generated, but I just want everyone to understand that these are coming from our clients. We're not generating this information. That's what they're telling us. And I can say in the state of Ohio, for every one federal dollar that we receive, we generate $150 in new retained sales, investment, and cost savings. So there's a lot of value in what we're bringing to the manufacturers of Ohio. Next slide. How do we engage with manufacturers? As I mentioned, we're here to listen. We're here to identify what issues small and medium-sized manufacturers are having. So we'll start with an initial contact. We'll do an assessment. We'll listen. We'll walk the shop floor. We'll see. We'll get eyes on what we're looking at and what we're hearing from the client. Then we go through an identification process where we're trying to determine what is the best solution that we could provide to the manufacturer. We'll negotiate, draw up a contract. We'll execute the project, and then once we finish, we believe in our services so much, we're ready to sit down and talk about, okay, what's next? So we've provided this solution. You've seen the benefit and what we've been able to do. What's the next issue? What's the next item that keeps you up at night? So that's kind of our circle of how we approach this with small and medium-sized manufacturers. I mentioned we're fee-based. We're not a free service. But we are here to listen and then to provide a solution based on what the client is telling us. Next slide, please. So I've talked about the federal level. I'll now get into how we're organized in the state of Ohio. So we're very similar to what Aminata had mentioned in terms of how the MBACs are set up. So if we go to the next slide, I'll talk about how we're organized. So at the Department of Development, we all report up to Director Mahalik. Susan Restrepo is the chief over my strategic investment area. Eric Lindner is the assistant chief. I am the director of the Manufacturing Assistance Program. And then I have an associate director, Tracy Spencer, that is solely focused on working with our partners and manufacturers across the state. Next slide. This, you're seeing this map. I know it looks different from what Aminata had presented, but it's basically, we're organized very similarly. So across the state, we have 6 partners. Funding comes through my office at the Department of Development, and then we take that funding, and 95% of that goes to these 6 regional offices. Northwest Ohio, I mentioned Food Folks. That is the Center for Innovative Food Technology. So they'll do work across the state. They do have a dedicated territory, but they'll help any food manufacturing or any manufacturer in that Northwest quadrant. In the Dayton area, Fastlane is a part of the University of Dayton Research Institute. They have a lot of resources at their disposal from the university level, a lot of additive manufacturing, a lot of really cutting edge new technologies coming out. In Cincinnati, TechSolve is our partner. They're very proficient in cybersecurity, and they do a lot of machining work to help folks in that realm become more efficient. Magnet in the Northeast quadrant is our largest long-standing MEP partner. They're very big into workforce. They're very big into automation, and they actually have the ability to build equipment, so one-off equipment for small manufacturers to help them with any challenges that they have. Central Ohio is Columbus State. They are our newest partner. They do a lot of leadership training, and they are really working in the area of automation principles. So how to automate folks with challenges that they have on their shop floor. And then a large region down in the Appalachian part, the Ohio State University South Centers. They do mostly third party. They connect folks to third-party solutions providers, and they're really proficient in helping folks with process improvement opportunities for their shop floor. So that's how we're organized, and this allows us to cover the entire state. It allows us to have what we call boots on the ground, and then we manage this and provide initiatives to all 6 of our partners across the state. Next slide. So similar to the values that we've already touched on from the federal level, we roll these down into our state partners. We're here to increase sales. We're here to create jobs, retain jobs, and generate savings, and really look for areas to invest. So we're helping folks identify those types of things based on the pain points that they report to us. The vision of this program has always been, when a small and medium-sized manufacturer has an issue, they know to pick the phone up and call us. So either they call us at the state level, or they call one of our 6 regional partners and they say, this is the issue that we have, and they know that we're going to be there to support them. So to be a go-to resource, this Ohio, we say, is a microcosm of the entire country. Northwest Ohio is far different from Northeast Ohio, which is far different from the Appalachian portion of the state. So we are very diverse in how we approach each of our regions, because they're very, very similar. Or I'm sorry, they're very, very different. They're not very similar. And then our values, we hire folks that have been in the field. We hire folks that have lived through a lot of the challenges that our clients face, and I can attest to that. I come from the world, so we truly empathize with the issues that our manufacturers in Ohio have, and so we're here to really help them navigate those waters. So it's important that I share with everyone here that we're very steadfast in this mission, vision, and values of the program. Next slide, please. So our focuses, we look at ourselves both internally and externally. We're accountable to everything that we do. We're always looking at human capital and how we can improve and keep up with trends. DEI is a huge part of what we're doing. We're trying to get everyone opportunities within manufacturing, because they exist. They are there. They're there today. So we are looking for every person who would like to have, and honestly, the careers in manufacturing are very well paying, great insurance and benefits. So we're really looking for how do we make sure that everyone has these opportunities. And we always have to keep up with the trends and all the new technology that's constantly coming out. Externally, we want to be in alignment with our partners across the state. We want to collaborate. This whole thing today is about empowering communities to succeed. That's what our program exists for, community outreach. And then we always are looking to debunk misinformation about this industry. It's not your grandparents. It's not the dark, dingy. This is high-tech stuff. And Ohio is really a leader as the third largest manufacturing state in the country. We are a leader in manufacturing, and there's some really cool stuff going on here. Next slide. I mentioned metrics and those very large impacts that I reported. We are graded through a scorecard. That scorecard is generated through client survey responses. So we deliver a project, they get a survey from a third party that we have nothing to do with, and then they answer back. And we're constantly looking for feedback on, did we generate new sales? Did we keep sales that they had? So did our services allow them to retain sales? Did we create jobs? Did we make investments? And we do get a net promoter rating as well. So I believe in our last quarter, we were over a 75% net promoter rating. That is world class. I believe Apple was in the 60s, maybe even lower than that. If you go to the next slide, it just gives a little more on the metrics and kind of how, again, we're graded. But it's important for me to tell this group, this comes from our clients. This is not us generating this. We deliver a service, and then this survey goes to the client, and they report to us what we provided them. So it really is a powerful message that we can send out to our stakeholders about the great things that we're doing. Next slide. And just a little bit more. So the survey started in '96. As I mentioned, this is client-based. This has nothing to do with us. It has nothing to do with my 6 partners. This gets sent to the clients. They report it out, and then it goes into a scorecard, and we are evaluated at the federal level. But it tells a great story about the things that we provide through our services to small, medium-sized manufacturers that allow them to grow, that allow them to maintain if that's what they choose, or to get into new markets and continue to find new ways to make themselves better and grow. So I think I have one more slide. So we do work with specific NAICS codes, the North American Industry Classification System. So this just gives you an idea. We do look at R&D side, packaging, but these are the clients that we work with have to have an industry recognized NAICS code. And then we enter into contracts and we support them the best we can. So I believe that is all I have. Yeah, so feel free to reach out to me at any time with any questions or any needs that you may have. So thank you for the time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Aaron. I learn something different every time I hear you speak. I think it's important to note that when I first got acquainted with you, I was like, so, what is a manufacturer? And it was pretty much anybody who mass produces anything, from t-shirts to heavy metals or whatever the case may be. And so every time I hear you speak, I learn a lot. So I just wanted the people on the call to know that if you are mass producing anything, MEP may be a partner that you want to contact to help you streamline some processes and some procedures. So thank you again, Aaron, for being here, and thank you for everything that you shared. Stick around with us just in case people have some questions for you. After Q&A, I am going to introduce our chief, But we're gonna take, it's 12:49. We're gonna take about 13 minutes, 14 minutes, and answer any questions that you all may have. So again, there's a hand raise emoji. If you have questions, please raise your hands, come off the mic once your name is called, and ask your questions. No questions? I think no questions means that our speakers did a phenomenal job. That means that they broke it down so that it could not be broken down any further. Okay, I see Anissa Young. Come on off the mic, dear, ask your question.
Hi, I was just wondering, I wasn't able to see any slides. Is there a reason for that through the Teams app?
Are you on a PC or are you on your phone?
I'm on the iPad.
That may be it. I'm not entirely sure, but you will get the recorded version and the slides in a follow-up. So you'll get every week because you register. So yeah, you'll have access to it.
Okay, thank you for that.
All right. Thank you, dear.
Yep.
Any other questions? I don't see any other hands raised. So you guys know me that I've been on here. I will not belabor the time because I know you have to get to the money. But please allow me to introduce Monica Womack. I call her Boss Lady. You all call her the Chief. She's a proud member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. She has the distinct honor and privilege to serve as the Chief of the Minority Business Development Division. In 1 year, she has grown and expanded this division exponentially. I mentioned her and Assistant Chief Howard's affiliation with their sororities and fraternities because it's Black History Month, and they are definitely involved in these organizations that shaped our history as Black Americans. Chief Womack has been an advocate for equity in ensuring that business owners of color are afforded not equal, but equitable solutions for the growth, sustainability, and expansion of their businesses. There is so much more to tell about Chief Womack, but I will land my plane there and turn the virtual microphone over to her. Chief Womack.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I first want to thank you, Chandrita, for serving as moderator for most of the weeks within this project for I'm State Certified Now What. Also, thank you to our team. When we start to speak about empowering communities to succeed and how we're doing it through certification, through collaboration, access to capital, contacts, as well as centers, the ability to support the growth has been, just as she mentioned, exponential in what we're able to do. Just some numbers to put some context on the value of being state certified. Last calendar year, 2022, we were able to do 106 loans to MBE and WBE businesses across the state of Ohio, totaling $9.3 million. When we put that into context, in the previous years, we may have done 3, max 4 loans to those businesses with a maximum amount of probably $3 million. And so when we think about the impact that we're having, it's huge. For calendar year 2022, we ended with 1,226 certified MBEs in the state, 1,123 EDGE businesses, 315 veteran-friendly business enterprises, and 801 WBEs. And those numbers are continuing to grow. When we think about where we're moving as it relates to the impact that we're having, again, not only is the mission of the Department of Development to empower communities to succeed, our vision is to be bold. We're being bold in that we are actually, the ability to upload documents is coming as it relates to certifications. I know that has been a pain point. But we're very excited about the fact that that's on the horizon. We're looking at before the end of this quarter, that being in place. At the end of last quarter, we were able to allow for all certifications to be available through the Ohio Business Gateway. So you could literally, if you qualify for 4 certifications, you can check the 4 boxes and continue to move forward. When we think about contracting, again, the hiring of Valerie Williams to support not only our state's 15% goal on certified MBEs and 5% goal for edge businesses, but to look at those as being the floor and still not the ceiling. And then also partnering with the Women Business Enterprise Council, Ohio River Valley. We have a solidified memorandum of understanding in place as of last quarter. We also have had a long-standing relationship with the Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council. So as a state certified MBE or WBE, you now have access to these organizations, and then we can work to assist you with their requirements for certification, but also assist you with their opportunities with contacting and contracting with those private sector companies. When we still think about our capital, and we're also looking at how we are being solution focused, we still have $10 million available for between our microloan program and our WBE program that Chandrita had shared a couple of weeks back. We still are working to get those dollars into the hands of the businesses that need it most. But most importantly, when I think about being responsive as one of our missions and one of our aims from a vision perspective, what else can we do to assist? This is your opportunity. Really, this is your program. And what can we do to make sure that you are receiving the needs that you have as it relates to not only empowering you as a part of your community to succeed, but also to help you grow your business? And with that, I see that there's a hand raised. I will turn it over to our moderator and get the question asked.
Thank you so much, Chief Womack, for sharing those numbers. You know, we are just, as far as the employees here, we're in it every single day. And so we're just getting the work done. But when we look back and we see and hear all of the great things that we accomplished, you can't help but to be proud about those things. But there's still work to do, as you always say. So even with all of that great stuff being done, there is yet work to do. And my request is that y'all help us help you. Help us help you by getting these dollars out the doors and into your businesses so that they can grow, they can sustain, grow, scale, and then you can succession plan as well for your for generational wealth purposes. So there is another hand up, and it is Janet Grundy. Feel free to come off the mic and ask your question, dear.
Hi, it's her husband.
Oh, Mr. Grundy, my apologies.
I'm gonna make it so slow drinking.
Dina, go ahead.
My question is streamline the Ohio registration. I attempted to register, and I got stuck at the W-2 page, and it didn't allow me to exit or continue, and timed out. But I will do that, but that would be help for those myself to register, to streamline it a little more easier to register for Ohio.
And are you saying Ohio Buys? I do apologize. You were breaking up as you were speaking. So were you speaking on Ohio Buys or on the Ohio Business Gateway?
Ohio Buys.
Oh, for Ohio Buys, we can definitely forward that question on to our team within Ohio Buys. Ohio Buys is a separate entity. While we work together, we are separate. So, but we can definitely forward on to that concern.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Grundy. Anyone else? Any additional questions?
I do see that there is a chat question. So within our Ohio microloan, the question is typically how long does the microloan take to be reviewed by underwriting? as we're continuing to grow, as I shared, we did 3 loans the year before and we did 106 last year. So as we're continuing to grow, the underwriting time is taking a little bit longer, but our team has added additional staff to assist with that. So we're looking at about 45 to 60 days on the microloan. As we're continuing to move through the process, we'll be able to start making that timeline shorter. But definitely, if you're certified as an MBE or a WBE with the state of Ohio, we'll be able to continue to assist you and also connect you with one of our network of assistance centers that Aminata shared about.
Great question. Thanks for answering, Chief. Anyone else going once? Going twice? You guys know I'm a proponent of you getting back to the money, so we will not belabor the time. It is 1 o'clock on the dot. We're going to give you 30 minutes back. So again, thank you to all of our speakers. Thank you for your summation, Chief Womack. And thank you guys for attending and taking this seriously. So we appreciate you being here. And if there's anything that we can do for you further, please, please, please don't hesitate to reach out to anyone in this department. If it's not done here, we know who to send you to get it done. So we appreciate you. Assistant Chief, I saw you come off camera. Did you have any final remarks?
I actually saw 2 more questions in the chat.
Oh, okay, great. Do you want to read them?
Oh,
Or-
first one would be, how long does it take to fund either loan if an application is approved? And do you have to have a business plan?
Chief Womack, you want to address?
No, not a problem. So for our Ohio microloan, that's usually around between, once we've done the actual underwriting and the approval is usually much faster to the underwriting component to it. So that's probably between approval, signing, closing, that could take 2 weeks once it's been approved. And for the Women Business Enterprise loan, that particular loan actually goes through our Minority Development Financing Advisory Board. And so that particular product, we actually review those on a monthly basis, the 4th Tuesday of the month. So there's the timing between that. If it's the Women Business Enterprise loan, again, we're able to get the closing once the fees have been paid, and be able to process that. So that could take between 3, max 4 weeks. With the Minority Direct loan, that actually has to go through controlling board. So based on when the loan closes, as an example, we just had our last Minority Development Financing Advisory Board on the last Tuesday in January, I'm sorry, the 4th Tuesday in January, and the controlling board meeting is not until the 27th of February. So that's when it gets approved, and then that's finally approved, and that's when those funds are actually going through the loan closing. So that could take an additional 30 to 45 days. And no, you are not required to have a business plan to apply for our loans, but as all businesses, you should have a business plan, because if you don't have a plan, they say if you don't plan, you plan to fail. And so your business plan directs where you're going. So our business assistance centers can assist you with that. We're not going to look at the business plan as a part of the process, but you will need to have one, especially as you're continuing to grow your business. And we are able to assist you attain a traditional bank financing through either our collateral enhancement program, our CDFI loan participation program, or other things and ways that you want to grow your business. And answer to your question, what can you do to help? I'm trying to see here. So, Vanita, if you wanted to come off and be able to share your question, or is it just a commentary?
I think she's gone.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
All right. I don't see anything in the chat. She put in a request for improving the application process. So I think she was making a suggestion, Chief Womack.
Okay. I just copied it and I'm putting it into a Word doc.
Okay. Vanita, we will get get you a response for that. So thank you.
Well, it's more of
for-
a recommendation, so it's something that we can look to see if that's something that can be done.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Uh-huh.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Yes, she said yes, making suggestions. Okay,
Perfect.
beautiful. So thank you again to all of our attendees and to our speakers. We appreciate again your attendance. We wish you the best in 2023 and years to come. And again, if there's any way that we can be, I think Chief Womack said it best, we are solution focused. So if there is an issue and we have the solution, we will definitely provide that for you. And if we don't have the solution, we will take it under advisement and try to provide a solution for you. So thank you. Stay connected. Be well, be safe, and be prosperous in your business. Thank you for attending 2023 I'm State Certified Now What Empowerment Series.